Good morning everyone, I'm Miss Rollason and today we're going to be learning about time. Now before I start this lesson, I want to make sure you've got your good looking eyes and your good listening ears. Can we all make sure we turn them on? Got our good listening ears and good looking eyes, and we're concentrating very hard on this lesson. I'll make it as fun as possible, but I need to make sure you're all learning as best as you can, okay? So we're going to be learning about time. Now, what can you already tell me about time? What do we already know about time and clocks? What do we know? Okay then, that's good. And if you don't know anything, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm teaching you. Okay. So time can be split into three parts of the day. We've got the morning, the afternoon and the evening, but typically the afternoon and evening are mushed together. So we've got the morning and then the later part of the day, okay? The morning can also be known as the AM. So you start work at 8:45 AM. And then we've got the afternoon, which can be known as the PM, which is 3:30 PM is when you finish school. AM is before 12 o'clock in the morning and PM is after 12 o'clock. So we've got the morning, afternoon, AM, PM, and then in the morning you start school at 8:45 and you finish at 3:30 PM. Okay, so when we're learning about clocks, there's usually two types of clocks that we learn about. The first one being an analog clock. Now you guys will have seen this clock used around school. You probably have one in your home and it is known as an analog clock. It shows all the hours of the day in a circle on what is known as the clock face. A digital clock, however, is usually electric powered and it only shows the time like this. There is no other time represented on the screen apart from the time that it is at that time of the day. So here we have 9:30 written on this clock, and here we have 9:30 written on a digital clock, and you can see the difference in how they look. Okay, so the clock we're going to be learning about today is an analog clock. You can see behind me, here's our analog and there's our digital. We're going to be learning about an analog clock. Now I know you've definitely seen these around school and you probably have one at home. Can anybody tell me a really famous big analog clock? That's right, it's the Big Ben in London, and that's a really famous analog clock. Okay, so the analog clock can be split between three different parts, okay? So we have the clock face, which is this part just here. This is known as the clock face. Then we have the numbers on a clock, which represent the hours. These are the hours in a day, okay? And the clock will go around these hours twice. So in the day, there is 2 4 o'clocks, 2 5 o'clocks, 2 6 o'clocks, and so on. And our day starts at midnight, which is 12 o'clock. So if we go back, we can set our day to 12 o'clock, and that is midnight, okay? And then as you can see, there are two hands. If I just move this way, there are two hands. The long one is known as the minute hand. This shows the minute we are on in the day. And then the short hand is called the hour hand, and that shows what hour we are on, okay? If the blue hand is up to 12, that means it is o'clock, okay? So if we turn this 1 hour all the way back up to 12, we can see our hour hand has moved to 1. Therefore, it is 1 o'clock because our blue hand is facing the 12, okay? And if we move our minute hand down to the 6, that means it is 1:30. What's half of 12? 6. So it is 1/2 past the hour and it is 1:30. Now, we can see that our hour hand has just moved slightly off the 1. However, it's not quite on number 2, is it? No, it's not quite on number 2. So we are still on 1 o'clock. It is just 1:30. Okay? And then if we move this all the way back up to 12, it is, oh, just slightly, it is 2 o'clock. Okay? We have reached 2 o'clock. Like I said, when this hand is facing the 12, it's called o'clock. And then when it is facing the 6, it is 1/2. So as we can see, it is 2:30 on our clock. Okay? Okay then, now I'm going to give you a little bit of a test to see if you were using those good looking eyes and those good listening ears. I'm going to put some times on the clock and I want you to tell me what time it is. Okay? So let's have a look at my clock here. Let's see. Okay. I want you to tell me what the time is on my clock. What time is on my clock? Where is my minute hand facing? It's facing 12, so what does that mean? What does that mean? If my minute hand is facing 12 and my hour hand is facing 4, what's the time on my clock? Well done, it's 4 o'clock. Okay, let's give you another one. Let's have a look, see. It's a very squeaky clock. Let's have a look, okay. Okay, this might be a little bit tricky. We've got our minute hand on 12 still, but where has our hour hand gone? Where has our hour hand gone? Our hour hand is pointing at 6, but what time is that? What time are we on? It's 6 o'clock. Well done. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you got that, because some people can get confused, okay? Got to make sure that the long hand is on the 12 for it to be o'clock. If it was the other way around, like this, let me show you. If it was the other way around, that would be 12:30. So you've got to make sure for it to be o'clock that the long hand, the minute hand, is up by the 12, okay? Right then, that was a tricky one, wasn't it? Let's do 2 more. What time is it if we do this one? What's the time on my clock? Remember, have a look at where the hour is pointing and the minute hand is pointing. What's the time on Miss Rollason's clock? Do we know? It's 10 o'clock. Well done. 10 o'clock on my clock. And one more. Let's have a go. One more. Miss Rollason's very squeaky clock. What's the time on my clock? Okay. Might be a little bit tricky. This is the time you should finish school, okay? What's the time on my clock? Have a look at where the minute hand is and the hour hand. Shout it as loud as you can so make sure I can hear. Okay, so it is 3:30. Now just remember, just because my hour hand isn't quite on the 3 doesn't mean it's 4 o'clock. It is 1/2, because remember 12, 6 is half of 12. It is 1/2 the hour, and the hour is just slightly off 3. So the next hour will be 4 o'clock, but we're not on 4 o'clock yet. So it is 3:30 on my clock. Well done. I'm so proud of you if you got all of those right. If not, there was some tricky ones on there, so I'll forgive you for that, okay? Thank you for listening, and I hope you really enjoyed your lesson on time. Bye.